I love baseball cards. Got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em.
Welcome to another edition of Pickups with Remember the Great Sports. If you haven't seen the video already, check out the graded cards pickups that I did a little while back. I mentioned I found those at a flea market or antique mall that was huge, 350, 400 vendor antique mall, and these other items I found throughout that antique mall as well. Three of the items were one booth, another one, and another one. So three extra additional booths in addition to the cards that I bought. So some of these items, I just don't look for cards. I just don't look for things. I look for things that pique my interest. If something is staring me at, right in the face and I know it's worth something, I pull my phone out, check out eBay listings, maybe Google it if I can't find it on eBay and see what I can find. So I was going through one booth and I found these. Just hit my lamp there, sorry. And these are mini footballs for autographs. And as you can see, these aren't full size, but these are great. If on the go, if I see somebody that I just didn't know I was going to see, kind of like bringing an unsigned baseball or something around with you to a game, unexpected. I grabbed both of these, and there's a small story behind these. At first, I'm one of those people that naturally I try to sniff stuff out, and it didn't have any price on it. And out of a huge antique mall with 400 vendors, I find the one items that don't have price tags on them. Now, commonly when vendors don't price things, the people working at the counter, the cashiers or whatever, can't sell it to you. They're like, if it's not priced, I can't sell it to you. And because it could be somebody picked something up from another booth, placed it in a different booth, that's just unfortunate. So I looked around this person's booth and I thought, if I go up to the counter and I buy something else, this person might be more apt to sell these to me, because what they did was they wound up contacting the booth owner via telephone and saying, hey, these two footballs are in your booth. Well, what's the price on them? So what I did is I rummaged through the booth and I found this cheap Mark Martin frame. It's it's plastic. It's nothing to write home about. But Mr. Martin is actually from Arkansas, and he has a museum and I believe a car dealership not too far from where I live. And one of the things that has been on my bucket list was to go down to that museum and potentially meet Mr. Martin. Hopefully I can catch him on a day that he's there. He's not at the Daytona 500 or, something like that. I have a good friend that goes to the museum every year that lives down in Arkansas. And this friend I've known, through autographing throughout the years over, the internet. I've never actually met the person, even though I've known him for years. And he tells me every weekend, or every Talladega weekend, when they have the race at Talladega, that's when they have a huge event at his museum. And they usually invite a couple NASCAR drivers. Obviously, they're retired drivers because they're a little busy at Talladega. But I know the likes of, Tony Stewart's been there, on down the list. And my friend has told me that it's like a weekend event. I mean, you have to show up and camp out in RVs and tents and, all kinds of stuff just to have access to get a chance to see these guys. I can't devote that kind of time just to getting a couple autographs. I mean, maybe some people can that are huge race fans, but I thought about just contacting Mr. Martin, via Facebook or whatever and saying, hey, are you going to be there next Tuesday? I was thinking about driving down there. Oh, by the way, do you mind if I bring a few things to get autographed? And see what he says. Haven't gotten around to that yet, but plan on doing that sometime in the future. So, to finish the story, this card and frame was only $1.50, so $1.50. So I went up to the checkout counter with my other items here that I'm going to show you in a minute, and I said, hey, I found this in this booth, you know, booth 10, whatever it was, and I found these two footballs. Well, I know typically when you're, you know, your policy is you don't sell things without a tag. Can you call him up and see, you know, how much he wants for the footballs? He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. See, I mean, it's, if you're polite to people, sometimes you get some good results. That's, you know, and take that advice in life in general. So he calls the booth owner up and says, hey, these footballs, what do you want for those? You know, and I'm standing there listening to the conversation, and he's like, okay, that's what I need to know. So the guy hangs up the phone, and he's like, $3 a piece. I said, no hesitation, sold. So for $3, I was able to get both of these footballs that are unsigned for future autograph purposes, I guess you would call it. Who knows who I might see in the future. You know, if they're ball worthy, I guess you would call it, I would definitely be popping one of these out to get them signed. I mean, I've seen, there's been a couple instances where some Kansas City Chief players have shown up, you know, doing some things down here where I live. A couple years back, I went to an autograph signing at a grocery store in Springfield, and it was during the Chiefs' 50th anniversary, and they brought Bobby Bell and Lynn Dawson out to sign autographs for free. Now, if I would have had these footballs then, I would have a Bobby Bell and a Lynn Dawson autograph. So the next item I'm going to show on camera, and it's, you know, this may or may not be worth what I paid for it, but to say I have this in my collection is why I bought it. And when I show it to you, you'll understand. If you saw the intro photo, you'll get it too. But it is a Louisville Slugger, Hilrick and Bradsby Company, Jackie Robinson model bat. Now the bat has a small crack in it. You know, it's not like I'm going to use this anyway. But, so the condition isn't the greatest. But I found this in a booth with other, get the Robinson on there at least, with other bats, and this bat was labeled $14.95. When I saw that, I was like, I could not believe that this person was selling a Jackie Robinson Louisville Slugger model bat for only $14.95. So this booth had probably 20 to 25 bats in it. All of them were in various condition, from beat to hell to really beat to hell would be the best way I can describe it. All of them had either cracks in them. You know, there was something either really flawed with these bats. They were far from pretty, but whoever owned this bat before me luckily didn't get too many hits across Jackie's signature there, so very happy to, you know, add that to my collection. I have some bats in my collection that Mickey Mantle comes to mind, that this part of the bat was so worn that you can't even tell it's a Mantle bat. You can barely see the Mantle name on there anymore. But, you know, to say you have a Mickey Mantle store model bat in your collection. Happy to add this one. One of the things that I want to point out, and I can't do it really well on camera and get it on there, but if you look at the barrel of this bat compared to the handle of the bat, they're almost identical in thickness. I mean, it's crazy. When I picked this up, I thought it was like picking up a, you know, an oar off of a boat or something. I mean, look at the thickness of the handle. I mean, I played baseball a little bit, you know, when I was a kid, and I never had a bat with thickness like this. I mean, this is just oh, sorry, bumped the camera there. I mean, it's just absurd how thick the handle of this bat is. I mean, I don't know how you can hit with it. It's like trying to hit with an axe or something. I mean, that's how thick the handle is. It's crazy. So if you guys ever get a chance to see one of these in person, just pick it up and hold it. And if you've ever held a bat and swung it before, you're going to be like, what the heck? This is crazy. So very happy to add this to my collection. This is something that I think everybody should have a bat or two like this in their collection. You know, not just Jackie Robinson, but if you have a Stan Musial, a Ted Williams, or a Willie Mays. If you have that in your collection, that's something that you can keep forever, and it's going to maintain its value. Especially $15. I mean, come on, $15 for this? I mean, it would probably cost that to ship the thing. I don't know. I don't ship bats, but this is definitely a welcome addition to the collection. The other bats that they had there, I found a Hank Aaron bat in similar, I don't want to say similar condition, but similar era bat. But if you can see from the crack here, the Aaron bat actually was splintered or broken, however you want to call it. And somebody took needle nails and nailed like 30 nails into the bat to put the bat back together. And when I looked at that, I'm like, that, yeah, if it wasn't all cracked up like that, the nails put in it, I probably would have bought a Hank Aaron bat too. They had a couple other bats there. I want to say there was a Johnny Bench, but it was really, really beat the heck. It was ugly, to say it nicely. There was a Nellie Fox there, and the top up here was like cracked, and like the nameplate was about to fall off, in my opinion. And I saw a Harold Baines bat. And it was an Adirondack bat, and the problem with, I'm a big fan of Harold Baines. I wish I could have an opportunity to meet him in person, get his autograph in person, but when you're holding Jackie Robinson up to Harold Baines and you only have a limited amount of cash in your pocket, it's not a hard choice. So no offense, Mr. Baines, but I chose Jackie Robinson over you.